Welcome back everybody. So guys, in this lecture we'll be talking about some more interesting things about the HTML, the forms. We even can make the forms in HTML, but they won't be able to work unless we apply some kind of server-side technology to receive the form. But now, because the aim of us is to use the serverless, being serverless by any meaning for now, for making a complete web development solution without using any server. So I'll be guiding you how you can use that form through the JavaScript, means the client-side language, and how you will be able to process it and to submit it to a database. So I'm not gonna go the serverless, I'm not gonna go a server man for now, but for now we're only talking about the form, how we can make the form in HTML, and what are the elements, what are the basic elements of the form. So let's just see, I'm just here and I'm just going to delete all the old text because I really do not need this anymore. I'm just inside the index.html, and there I'm just going to make a form. The very important thing of a form is the form tag itself. It just declares that we are just making a form. Then we can go inside, and then inside that we just can make the form. You know what we do when we just talk about a form, when we just make a form, we just give some input. We give some input to the form, and that input will be taken by the form, and it will be submitted to the database through a server-side language. Or now we won't be using the server, but or a server-side language, but the form has to be submitted. So we actually give it the input. So let's just make some input elements to give the input to the form, and then just leave it as it is. So the input tag. The input tag is an empty tag, so you do not need to add the ending tag for this, and I'm just going inside. The tag alone is nothing important. We should mention the type. Actually, there will be multiple types of the input tag. We'll be making the button. An input tag can be a button, an input tag can be a text field, or an input tag can be a radio button. You'll be learning about that later on. A checkbox, even an input tag can be. So for now I just want a text box, a simple text field. So go to the browser back, and I'm just going there and refresh the page. So okay, this is the about, but I'm just going to the index.html, and it is there. You can see that there is the input tag. You can put anything here inside this. That means we just made our very first input tag, which is actually working fine, so no problem. I'm going there back. There are a lot of things to design this form. We can use a placeholder to guide the data, to guide the user what the data to be put in there. Like here I'm just typing enter user name, save it, go to the browser back and refresh the page. So now you can see that enter username. Whenever you put anything, it will be gone, but it's back now when I just remove that data. That means, you know, the placeholder is the dummy text, which is actually not applied to the tag, just to show the placeholder, you know, the meaning of the placeholder. This is how it works. This is how we just can make a simple form. The other elements of the form are input, then type, cover this, and here inside the type I can just mention this as a password. Okay, the placeholder, I can put the placeholder for the password too. Holder enter password. Okay, save it, go to the browser back and refresh that. Now you can see that enter password. If I just put anything, it won't be visible because the type is password. This is how the type attribute works. I think it is cool, but these are only two elements. There are a lot more elements I'm just gonna talk about. If you're specifically just putting the email, well, before the email I'm just gonna put the another type, which is actually, you know, submit. Now it'll be a button. It'll be a button. Go to the browser and refresh the page, so you'll see this is a button now. Okay, but if you just notice, when I just click on submit button, there will be a question mark. Click on submit button and a question mark is there. That means when the form gets submits, the question mark brings here. It's an empty form, that's why the question mark was empty. But if you just put something, some data with it along with the material, so the form won't be empty anymore. but I just put it the data. You can see that the data was gone when I just put it the data and just click on submit button. The data gone because the page got refreshed and the question mark brings up here. But the problem is, well, why the data is not showing here when the question mark is visible there. There are multiple ways to get the data there. We are not sending this data along with the form. We're just submitting the form. So form was getting submitted without any data. Well, we'll be talking about that too, but for now there is another attribute, the value. The value attribute, what it does, it just makes things more interesting. If I just put some value here, like click to submit form, save it. Now this button will have a value, click to submit form. You can see that. And same, you can use the value attribute there too, like I'm using, and here I'm just typing the name John, save it. Now go to the browser back and refresh that. You can see that now there is not the placeholder anymore, there is a value. The real value means if you don't put anything, the value will be placed there, and you just click on submit button, then this value, which will be called the default value, will be submitted. So if I just remove that, I'll be getting wait for a while, let me remove that. Okay, I'll be getting the username, enter username. That means the placeholder again, but that was the real value. Okay, now what the submit button does, submit button controls the form, submits the form, and sends the data through the form submission. But if I just put the input, now you will realize the difference between this new element, the email. What the email can do, placeholder, enter email, save it. Now go to the browser and refresh that. There is an email one. If I just put anything and I just click on submit, you can see that please include an @ in email address, as in missing an @ as means the value. Okay, I'm just putting the @ now click on, you can see that please interrupt part following @ as @ is incomplete. It's incomplete. You can see that dot is used at a wrong position. So gmail.com. now it's fine. This is why we use the type email other than the text. The email and the text looks similar, but if you just put the type email, then it'll authenticate if the email, verify the email is correct or no, correctly formatted or no. This is why we use this one. The form has a lot of elements. I just taught about 3 elements, so you can try them, and then we'll be talking about other ones too in the next class. Stay tuned and goodbye.